So you say marriage is hard. We say maybe you are the problem.
Here are 8 ways you may be making marriage harder than it should be.
I'm Byron.
And I'm Margaret, and we're hosts of the Beyond I Do podcast, where we share our journey with the hopes of helping others build strong, healthy, happy relationships. Now let's get started.
All right. First off, we have roommate behavior. What is roommate behavior?
Roommate behavior is when you have a married couple who act as if they are still roommates.
Mm-hmm.
Things may include splitting bills,
Mm-hmm.
50-50 or
Yep.
70-30, or not moving as one. So when we get married, we're supposed to be two become one, and they're not moving as a one. Team.
Right, exactly. All right. What's next?
Number 2 is dishonesty.
Mm-hmm.
And not just big dishonesty, but sometimes it's the little things. Like
hiding bank accounts.
I was told that I should have something put aside just in case. Mm-hmm. And so my thing was, instead of planning for failure, I would rather put the energy and effort into my marriage.
Right.
This is also where hiding packages. So you go and you go shopping, and instead of bringing the bags in, you leave them in the car.
Also beating the other spouse to the mailbox. Ordering stuff online.
to get credit card statements that maybe the spouse doesn't know about.
That open credit cards that they don't know about. Also hiding friendships.
Yes, hiding friendships, or your work spouse.
Work husband, work wife.
Things like that. Anytime you have to delete a text message just in case.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. Number 3.
Not being vulnerable.
This is something that I struggled with in the beginning, and it's based in fear. So I am afraid to be vulnerable and open up because you may hurt me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But if I am vulnerable and I let those walls down and I open up, I allow you to fully love me.
Right. Next up. Not being the best version of yourself. What does that mean?
There again, this is one that I've learned along the way. Is you have to take care of you in order to be the best partner you can be.
Yep. And that's healing unhealed trauma.
Yep.
Whether it's childhood trauma or trauma from a past relationship, or even from family, and friends and things like that.
Also, participating in unhealthy behaviors.
Yes.
Not eating right, maybe doing illegal drugs and things of that nature.
Right.
Where you're really not taking care of yourself.
Yeah, drinking a lot. Overindulging in unhealthy activities such as alcohol, drugs, things like that.
Now, we're not throwing stones.
No,
but
definitely not.
We are currently working on our eating habits and things like that. But if there are certain things you shouldn't have, and you're not, you're consciously not taking care of yourself. Those types of behaviors.
Exactly.
And also not being accountable for your behaviors. Mm-hmm. So knowing that you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing, and then you blame other people. Right. Well, this is just me and who I am.
Or you have an ailment, you have a ongoing battle with something, and not taking care of yourself, not exercising, not, and I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. Mm-hmm. I will be the first to admit, but
But you were just accountable.
Yeah, trying to work on it. As long as you're working on it, hey, that's good.
Yep. Next is not placing each other first.
Oh yeah, that's definitely one.
And this, I know, is a struggle for some when it comes to your family and friends.
Yeah.
I've seen posts or heard people say, I've had my best friend for over 30 years. I've only been married for 2. Mm-hmm. But the relationship that you have with your spouse, that relationship supersedes every other relationship.
Exactly. And even family. And that family involvement definitely, because you have to look at when you as a couple are dealing with issues or you're having troubles. Sometimes you got to keep family out. You can't just involve everyone in your issues, because that creates a whole another level of issues.
Right.
Careers and jobs. When you put careers ahead of your spouse,
Right.
that is time. That is, if you travel a lot and you're always on the go and you come home, we know you want to unwind, but you need to invest that time in your partner.
Right. Right. Also, in this one, I know it's going to be controversial as well, but also putting too much focus into parenting and not enough energy into your spouse.
Right.
We understand that when your children are young, or if you have young children, you have to put, of course, a certain amount of energy and effort into your kids. But you also need to make sure that you are making time for each other, because as your kids grow and get older, they're going to leave, and you don't want to be left with a stranger.
Yep, exactly. Next, we have not giving 100% to the relationship. Now, not giving 100%, that can be, just holding back on things, not listening to your spouse, not wanting to bend on certain things that, if your spouse has an issue with something, you're not willing to bend on,
not willing to compromise.
Willing to compromise, exactly. Right.
Yeah. One thing that we found to be very valuable was to, we did the love languages quiz, and we found out ourselves.
Right.
And we found our love language and each other's love language.
Right.
It's important to know how you give and receive love, but it's also important to know how your partner gives and receives love, so that you can make sure that you are providing that love and attention in a way that your partner is going to receive that.
Yep.
Another way that you don't give 100% is when it comes to intimacy. Right. You need to make sure that even if you and your partner don't have the same sex drive, that you still compromise and you put in that energy, so that you're not withholding, or your spouse doesn't feel like you're withholding from them.
And also, just going through the motions of being married, not checking in, not not having conversations, not talking to one another.
Right.
Those are some things that can cause some issues.
Next, we have unrealistic expectations.
Yes, a definite killer.
So from the beginning, you may go into a marriage not really knowing what to expect. Maybe you don't have any real life role models to go to or to look to. Or you're not prepared when the honeymoon phase is over and there's conflict, something happens, and you have to learn how to move through that conflict and hopefully prevent the same thing from coming up again.
Exactly. So our top reason is not cultivating the friendship. We love each other, but we like each other more. Like over love. And the reason being is because, we love friends, we love family, we love our children, but you have to like the person that you're involved with for a lifetime.
Right. You have to want to
be
around
them.
You want to spend time. If you think about your friend, you have people who you call friend because you have things in common with them. You enjoy speaking to them. You enjoy doing things with them. And that should be the same for your spouse.
Exactly.
So you have to make sure you are cultivating a friendship. So date nights are wonderful, but it's those spontaneous activities or maybe some of the mundane activities that you share as friends that help to build and strengthen your relationship.
Yeah. It'd be simple as, a nice text throughout the day. Hey, how's your day? How's your day going? How have you been doing? How's your mood? Just being concerned about, your spouse. That helps, you know.
We have our inside jokes and things like that.
Yep.
So if we're out somewhere, we can look at each other and make eye contact, and
Mm-hmm.
we have those things that, like I said, it's a friendship. You're cultivating a friendship.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So in conclusion,
Mm-hmm.
even though we have given you these 8 reasons why you may be the problem,
Yep.
most important to all of them is do what works for you.
Exactly. Exactly.
So if in your relationship, you and your partner are happy, it's a respectful relationship, but you split bills 50-50,
Yep.
hey, we're not saying don't do that. We're simply saying that if you and your partner, if something is not right,
Yeah, if y'all are struggling, struggling to get to that point of understanding, maybe some things that you or your spouse could be doing that's causing some issues. We just want to give some helpful insight.
right. So above all, do what works for you. Do what makes you and your partner happy.
Right.
But if need be, these may be some things to look at and consider if there's a struggle.
Yep.
All right. Until next time.
We will holler at y'all.